Eat too much, I drink too much, I want too much, too much. You gotta get somewhere. I mean, you never know.
Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Har. That was Dave Matthews' Too Much song, and he talks about eat too much, drink too much. So anyhow, I thought that was appropriate because we're talking about good eating strategies. And not that I want people to worry about eating too much. I want you guys to focus on doing the right things. And ultimately, it's not so much what you eat, it's I shouldn't say it's not how much you eat, it's what you decide to eat and what you're eating for. So let's kind of move on and talk a little bit about our eating strategies. In the task that you had this week, as we started looking at these different things that we can do to be healthier in our choices, you guys had a couple quizzes. Remember that you can take those a couple different times to get the score you want. You have a food assignment worth 25 points, an October count point, extra credit assignment that is not available until after midnight tonight, and you have to do it somewhere in that 24-hour period. MHTA, which you'll get from today, and your Unit 4 Session 4 test. So when we talk about eating smart, it's really about you guys being educated to make the choices that are best for you. You, believe it or not, are the experts on what your body knows once you have taken in a little bit of knowledge. And there is great ways to figure out the latest healthy trends. I always tell students, be careful what's out on the internet and make sure you only get your information from valid sites, because there's a lot of people that just post stuff out there. And sometimes it's really kind of crazy information and it's not safe or healthy. So make sure that you're following good websites. But through courses like what you're getting from myself and other educational resources, you're going to have the foundation to make strong, smart choices daily on how to best provide the nutrients for your body. And sometimes I think with the images we see on TV and everything else, we get so consumed with the idea of consumption that we forget really what it's all about. And it's really about making sure our body has the nutrition it needs every day to be the healthiest you. So when we're talking about eating smart, we're talking about just thinking, gosh, did I make sure that everything I ate today really encompasses all the nutrients that I need to be the healthiest me? Because deficiencies in any arenas can cause health discrepancies or health issues. So we want to make sure that we are choosing the best things for us as much as possible. Now that being said, of course, I've already told you that Mrs. Har loves French fries. I try not to eat them all the time because they're not so good for you, but I do indulge myself. You have to allow yourself to have some allowances, but be aware that they are allowances and making sure that you're still getting the nutrition you need elsewhere. And when it's substances that perhaps aren't the best for your body, make sure you limit those. And be aware that you're craving them, that's fine. Is there some healthier alternatives you can? Like I talked about with my French fries, rather than running up to McDonald's, I will cut up my own potatoes at home, coat them in olive oil, put some kosher salt and a little pepper, and I will bake them or broil them, and they're delicious as well. So that's a much healthier version, and I still get my French fries fixed. So there are options, and even if I had, if I was out and about and I had to eat McDonald's, I want to be aware that I want to limit how much I'm going to eat that fast food, as we talked about how bad fast food was for us, and I want to make sure that I'm getting those colorful options in my diets as well, and I'm not displacing my colorful, wonderful, nutrient-packed items with things like French fries or potato chips. So keep that in mind. So when we're talking about some suggestions, biggest thing we need to, especially in America, is watch out for portion distortion. We are the big size, American size, Big Mac, big everything. So everything we're served is way more than what we need in a setting. And we start to train our stomachs to eat these bigger amounts when really we don't need to. I know you guys have heard it, but it's much wiser to eat lesser amounts several times throughout the day. Then you're not stretching out your stomach and you're not getting so uncomfortably full, and then in like 3 hours you're hungry and you get that little lull. So it's better to eat smaller portions throughout the day as much as possible. And a great way to kind of eat throughout the day is eat your 5 a day. Continually try to get all of those fruits and vegetables in as much as possible. Remember, we want natural color. and nibble away as much as you like on those. They used to have a certain recommendation of fruits and vegetables, and then they kind of said, Ixnay, eat as many fruits and vegetables as you like. So those were some of the suggestions. Another thing is don't skip breakfast. I know it's really hard, especially with teenagers, and I will admit, when I was a teenager, last thing I wanted to do when I was getting up and kind of groggy-eyed going off to school, and of course, getting ready, I did not even feel like breakfast. But then 3 hours later, I was starving, and then I would just scarf down anything late, that I could get my hands on, and sometimes it wasn't the healthiest choices. Try to think about consciously figuring out what you could eat for breakfast, and ask your parents or yourself, go out to the grocery store. Make sure you have something kind of easy and ready to go if you're not that morning person, that you can have available. It's so important after that night's sleep, and we covered this week, and we kind of showed you why your body really needs that breakfast to start off your day on the right foot. So please, please try any way that you can to incorporate breakfast. If you can't, like anything else, if you don't do it at all right now, try to start incorporating a couple days a week and slowly build. Don't make drastic changes. I personally don't think drastic changes are easy to stick with. Small little changes over time are a lot easier. So, and then the other thing we talked about is water. And as much as possible, we need to look at drinking more water, replacing some of those sugar beverages out there with water. Luckily, I think as a society, we are kind of moving away from the pop generation or the soda generation. Back when I grew up, soda was so prevalent, and even up until about 15 years ago, everybody walked around with a diet soda thinking diet soda was actually healthy for them. Well, we know much better now that there's actually, diet sodas can actually be more harmful in some aspects. So I think as a society, we really have moved away from, per se, sodas and pops, but we've kind of moved into the athletic drinks filled with sugar, or replaced it with other things and some of the high energy fuel drinks. So the biggest thing is we can do, and the healthiest thing we can do for our body is substitute water instead of some of those drinks that you have on a daily basis, and try to remember that your body, by the time you're thirsty, you're actually on the tips of being in dehydration mode. Not severe, but minor by the time your body actually signals to you to drink, that I'm thirsty. So you need to constantly maintain and drink water, or something, and what I do all summer long, because I love ice water, but I love to throw fruit in there. One of my favorites is throw a couple raspberries in your water. It just gives it a nice little taste, or believe it or not, this might sound weird, but love it. A couple slices of cucumber in your water. Makes it very refreshing, a great little taste. So anything you can throw in there. Some people like to throw in a little lemon or a lime. But I drink one of those huge, the plastic little Starbucks cup I bought that keeps, for like $14 I bought it. But I fill it up all summer with ice water with some fruit or something at the bottom, or a cucumber at the bottom, and I walk around and I drink that all day, and it just really makes me feel hydrated and energized, and I know I'm doing something good. I have a little splash of taste in there, but it's nothing with sugar. So something to think about. That's an option for you. I cannot stress to you guys enough about why it's so important to drink water, and I know we watched some videos on it this week, but many times here's a couple things listed here about what water does for your body, but sometimes when you are just kind of feeling like, I'm exhausted, or I don't feel 100%. Believe it or not, it could be if you drink a tall glass of water and see how you feel 10 minutes later, it might really revitalize you. A lot of times we think we're hungry when we're actually thirsty. We may think we're tired or whatever, and if we just have a big glass of water, not sugary pop, it really can do amazing. Really kind of change the way you feel. So please try to keep that in mind as you're thinking of healthy ways to make sure that you are taking care of your body the best way possible. So in the words of Nike, just drink it, not just do it. Just drink it. Drink the water as much as possible. Just really try to really increase how much you drink and substitute that with some of the sugary drinks. Of course, as a world geography teacher, I do have to please try to limit how many water bottles you use. If you can buy one of those cups that you can keep filling, that's so much better. All right, so what does this all mean? Why is Mrs. Hart talking about, oh, all these things that you should do to eat and blah, 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 blah? What this all means is that if you guys start to take little bits of information, you guys aren't going to do everything I've told you. Nobody would. That's how we work. But if there's something that strikes a chord with you, if there's something that I've said in the last 2 weeks that you can do regarding your diet to make it healthier, stick with it. Try that one little change. Small little change. Let's say that you drink, a couple different sugary drinks. If you substitute one of those, even 3 days a week, boy, that will make such a difference in your overall health. What I'm talking about is making small little changes every day. Small little changes over time will make a huge difference in your overall health. So with that, let me get to my slide here. My MHTA is changes, small changes. I want you to upload to the Dropbox one thing out of the last 2 weeks that we've talked about as far as diet and eating habits and drinking water, that sort of thing. Think of 1 or 2 habits, small habits, and I don't want to hear, oh, I'm going to stop pop completely, because if you drink pop daily, that's really hard to do. If I were doing that, I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to substitute a glass of water, or whatever it is. Make a realistic goal for yourself and upload that to your MHTA. So your MHTA, Mrs. Har's takeaway, is about changes. What changes are you personally going to try to implement after this last 2 weeks, and upload that to the Dropbox for me. So regarding diet and exercise, and I want you guys just to reflect. This is not right or wrong. It's what do you think as an individual, what you've heard in the last 2 weeks will make you make a small change for a healthier you in your diet or exercise. Just pick 1 or 2 things. That's all. That's our MHTA. All right, so going forward, let's see here. We have October count. So tomorrow, October count. You're going to hear tons about it. I hope it doesn't drive you crazy. Hang in there if it does. All it means is you need to log in my course and do for me my extra credit October account assignment. That's going to qualify for the state attendance. So you're going to log in, do that. If you still have work to do, because remember tomorrow we end our our current week. Get it all done. But as long as you're logging into your courses and do the assigned assignment for the teachers, then you'll be good to go, and you will not be chased down by the community liaisons and counselors and admin for not being in attendance officially on October count. So hopefully that makes sense. This Thursday we're posting 6-week grades. Can you believe it already? So please get back in there. Remember, I do accept late work. If you're like, gosh, I really want to improve my grade, look at your grade book. It's very easy to look at your grade book. Click on that grade book, see anything that's missing. And if you do something that's missing in our past units, then after you do it, email Mrs. Har and say, hey, Mrs. Har, I completed such and such. Can you grade it and update my score? Because if you don't let me know, I won't know it. It's really kind of hard for me to go backwards in Schoology to find stuff that you've completed. So if you do something, let me know and we'll update your grade. All right? So that's what we have going forward. Next week, we're going to talk about eating disorders. So that's what's coming next before we finish our unit on nutrition. So we're going to talk about bulimia and anorexia and binge eating. So that is next week. All right, everyone, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll talk to you soon.